Hello Clash fans, Triple Damage coming at you today from the wake of our Clan War League, where we got promoted to Champion League 1. That is 2 months in a row that we promoted. We're very excited, and I wanted to celebrate a little bit by telling you about one of the attack styles that I absolutely love, which is Clone Hydra. And you can see the army composition down there at the bottom. The pretty traditional Clone Hydra attack is using 5 Dragon Riders or 6 Dragon Riders, 5 or 6 or 7 Dragons, 5 or 6 or 7 Balloons, along with some clone spells in the blimp to take the Town Hall. Now, the name Hydra comes from the way the balloons look when they're all cloning, and they look like little chains of balloons coming out, and it looks like a many-headed ballooned dragon thing. But that's where the name comes from. So, I actually have claimed that Sneaky Goblins are one of the keys to a successful Clone Hydra attack, and I'm going to show you how that is the case with these 2 attacks. So, the kinds of bases that work really well for Clone Hydra are bases where a Town Hall's in the corner, and the opposite corner houses the Eagle Artillery, and there's an opportunity to funnel, without the aid of wall breakers, your Barbarian King and your Queen into that Eagle Artillery compartment. Now, in this case, you can see I'm using 2 Sneaky Goblins to take out those Elixir Collectors, because what's going to happen then is, when I also funnel this Elixir Collector, a Barbarian King in on this laboratory will quickly see him into this compartment using the Yak as his wall breaker, and of course the Queen can follow him in. What you'll also see that I've done is down here, I've placed 2 Sneaky Goblins to take out these 2 Collectors and Gold Mines, because sometimes what happens with these Hydra attacks, the Dragons will get caught up running around the outside and continue taking damage from some of these defenses while they're popping off some of these external buildings. But using Sneaky Goblins to funnel them will keep them on track toward the Town Hall, where you can create a lot of problem for the defender. Now you can see nice funneling. I went ahead and I typically use 2 lightning spells. I do not like fighting air sweepers. I've had people tell me, oh, just freeze them once or twice. The moment you drop a second freeze spell on the air sweeper, you would have been better off simply using 2 lightnings instead. Now, the range of this air sweeper is not likely to bother my dragons, because I plan on funneling my King and Queen right through here. So you see King comes in on the lab, Queen comes in, picks up the Tesla, King stops to pick up that Dark Barracks, and then he of course turns around to head back into the base where the Yak is making a path for him. Now, I did also use a baby dragon to take a few of these buildings, so that once my King gets in there and my Archer Queen comes back inside to help fight that enemy Barbarian King, they take down the Eagle Artillery, and then the Dragon Riders, the Dragons, and the Balloons can really begin the main assault on the base. So at this point, you can see we've got a pretty nice funnel here. We've got, once that Grand Warden statue and the Archer Tower go down, it's really kind of tight through here. Now, one of the things that I do that is a hallmark of my Clone Hydra attacks, I typically will use one of my clone spells as my Balloons and Dragons are entering the base to give me more firepower to help take out some of those defenses. And you see I'm using the clone spell when they are already starting to engage defenses, not just on the outside. So, of course, we have a nice path that has been set. The battle blimp is coming in behind the Balloons, the Dragons, and the Dragon Riders, and I wait for my Eternal Tome to be used by the Grand Warden to protect nearly my entire army, and at that point, we are just waiting for the Rage spell with, oh no, the Tornado Trap, the dreaded Tornado Trap. You just need to be ready to use your clone spell to help push Balloons toward the Town Hall and freeze the Town Hall where necessary in order to get the value that you're looking for. But this is actually a very, very fast, very hard-hitting, very successful attack, especially against these types of layouts. Now, earlier on in the war against Avalancha Total, I believe it would be Total, I think it was the Spanish clan. So, earlier on in the war, we were doing pretty well, and we'll just speed along here. You know, Queen still has her ability, everybody's doing well, things were looking pretty good. We did have an unfortunate 1-star that set us up to where we essentially coming down to the wire in order to win, because we were very far behind on damage. We needed 2 triples from our last 2 attacks, in addition to our enemy clan only getting 2 stars on their final attack, which, fortunately for us, ended up happening. Oh no, I have no Wi-Fi. There we go. So, here's how the war broke down at the very end. Battle Dad delivered a clutch 3-star, and then sent 12004, failed to triple, and I got to come back in with literally 1 minute left. There was like 20 seconds left. I was watching this other attacker not get 3 stars, so I knew that 3 stars would win it for me. I just wanted to know if I had to win or not. So, again, same kind of thing. It's sort of a, diamond-ish base. Clan, or a town hall in one corner, Eagle Artillery in the other, and you see here I have 8 Sneaky Goblins, which I'm telling you is one of the keys to funneling a Hydra attack. Now, this Air Sweeper, not going to be a problem because I'm going to be coming in from this direction with my Hydra. This Air Sweeper, on the other hand, will pose a problem. Now, because this Air Sweeper was so close to an air defense, I figured, well, 2 lightning spells will take my Air Sweeper and leave the air defense in actually still, fighting shape with fewer hit points, and this builder hut would obviously rebuild it. So I figured I'd bring a 3rd lightning, trading out one of my normal 3 free spells just to take that down. So I've got 2 Sneaky Goblins on the Dark Elixir storage, 1 on the Elixir Collector, and 1 on the Gold Mine. Again, King will come in through here, get into this compartment, fight the enemy King, take out an Expo, take out an air defense, take out the Eagle Artillery, and I will be off to the races. But over here, so let the Sneaky Goblins come in, because sometimes dragons will pick up these buildings and then get caught on the outside, getting dealt a bunch of damage. I like to funnel a little bit tighter and pull off some of those buildings. So there go my 3 lightning spells, and I bring in my King, I bring in my Queen, and I brought in my Royal Champion. Now my plan was for my Royal Champion to get through to these 2 multi-target towers. It did not necessarily work out that way. In order to also help funnel, I put one of my dragons in on the side here, knowing it was out of range of that air defense. And now my heroes are going to work. My Barbarian King is pounding away. My Archer Queen is starting to move away from the King and the Royal Champion. Unfortunately, the Royal Champion does not get as far as I was hoping because she comes down on the outside here. Hydra comes in. We do have a clone spell dropped. I get a bunch of balloons, and those all the balloons, Dragon Riders, dragons are covered by the Eternal Tome. Once I trigger it, now-ish, a little bit later. I always try and wait until as long as possible, just so that the blimp can have as long as it can under coverage. So I went ahead and Rage, and I actually pulled 1 clone spell on this side to kind of pull the balloons away to get that single target tower. You see here, because of the skeleton spells and the external defenses, my Royal Champion failed to get those, and I thought, oh no, I'm not actually going to get 3 stars. And while I was making this attack live, at this moment, I couldn't stand it. I thought, oh no, there's still 2.5 minutes to go, or however much time was left. And I thought, I'm gonna wind up maybe getting it, maybe not getting it. And so I closed the app and I opened it back up and saw that I got 3 stars. I did not realize how much these dragons were going to do up here. I thought those Inferno Towers were maybe going to slow me down or end the attack a bit prematurely, but it did not pan out that way. We got our 3 stars, and we ended up winning. We would have lost on damage percentage, so I had to have a 3-star to take this down, and I went with Clone Hydra. I had flagged this base early on in war as a good target. It's one of the first things I do in competitive wars. I look for bases that are laid out like this with the Town Hall in one corner, Eagle Artillery in the other, with an opportunity to funnel, largely driven by the Sneaky Goblins, because then I don't have to do things like bring a super wall breaker or spend a whole bunch of troops to create some kind of more effective funnel for my heroes. It is a very powerful attack. I hope you enjoyed it. I forgot to sell myself. As you can see on the bar on the side there, I've got a whole bunch of fun social media stuff, in addition to being the co-host of the Clash Tips podcast, which you can find everywhere podcasts are sold, which they're free. And of course, you can see down at the bottom, I do now have my creator code. So if you'd like to support my content creation, please go over to your settings menu, the shop, and hit the C and support Trample Damage by plugging in code Trample, because it's cool. Don't forget, it does expire every 7 days, so you'll have to plug that in every time you make a purchase. In the meantime, please share this with your clanmates. Comment down below. Let me know if you like the content. I'm going to keep trying to find some other fun stuff to bring to you guys here, and I will tell you, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.